Republican Senator Mike Lee is so concerned by what he heard in the arguments over same-sex marriage at the Supreme Court, he brought these leaders of Christian education together to warn the nation about it. During those arguments, the Obama administration's Solicitor General made a statement that has sent chills through religious institutions that support traditional marriage.
One of the questions that I thought was particularly insightful was asked by my former boss, Justice Alito.
Alito asked, in the Bob Jones case, the court held that a college was not entitled to tax-exempt status if it opposed interracial marriage or interracial dating. So would the same apply to a university or a college if it opposed same-sex marriage? The Solicitor General replied, it's certainly going to be an issue. I don't deny that. I don't deny that, Justice Alito. It is. It is going to be an issue. And that means the government could start taking tax-exempt status from any college and possibly other nonprofit organizations that don't back same-sex marriage. The Family Research Council's Travis Weber takes that possibility very seriously.
If he's admitting this, they're considering it, if not already decided, to proceed along those lines.
Could this actually kill some Christian colleges?
I do think there's a very real possibility of it. I think the impact will be significant.
At his Union University in Tennessee, President Dub Oliver says government taking away all the federal benefits enjoyed by the college and students these days could affect about a third of the funding.
When you add all of that up, it's about $30 million a year, and our budget is $90 million. So, that's a massive hit.
Weber warns government will even feel it's doing the right thing attacking these institutions.
The government wants to stigmatize them as backwards and somehow out of touch.
So Senator Lee is proposing a bill that would forbid government using its power or influence against opponents of gay marriage.
We need to draw lines around the power of government, lines that are there to protect the people from the overpowering influence of government. An overpowering influence that can, from time to time, trample on religious freedom.
It's ironic that a nation where all the first colleges were Christian, that same nation may soon drive many of today's colleges right out of business. Paul Strand, CBN News, Capitol Hill.
And the president of the National Religious Broadcasters wonders if the Supreme Court does legalize same-sex marriage, whether that means the broadcast licenses of Christian stations will be at risk if they don't support it. Pat, so many widespread implications from this one court decision.
Isn't it chilling to think that a practice that was abhorrent and stigmatized for so many years has now become the dominant weapon of the left to hurt those who share traditional values? I want to go back to that Bob Jones case because that was mentioned. Bob Jones never prohibited men and women of different races from getting married. They never had any laws, as I understand. They merely said in their statement of faith they didn't believe that the Bible supported interracial marriage and interracial activity. Now, that was their belief. It actually is not supported by the Bible. What the Bible is talking about is relationship between believers and non-believers, Jews and non-Jews, not black and white. But nevertheless, the whole power of the federal government came after a guy named Coleman, who was a well-known black lawyer, took the case, and it was a landmark case where the government ruled against Bob Jones University, said they weren't entitled to tax-exempt status, and on and on and on, merely because they stated that according to their reading of the Bible, this was prohibited. Now, think what's going to happen to those who clearly read the Bible that a relationship between a man and a man is an abomination before the Lord. What are they going to do? That means people who broadcast that, people who have stations that broadcast that, people who are involved in schools that teach that, whether they're elementary schools, high schools, colleges, etc. The whole weight of the federal government will come down upon them, and suddenly there'll be a vendetta against those who merely say, we believe the Bible says this. Is that what we want? I tell you, it's time to stand up, folks. This isn't something way down the line. It's something happening right now. It depends on the vote of one man in the Supreme Court to say, we do not believe that this is a constitutional right. And if they don't say that, there's a lot of trouble to people who believe the Bible. John?